In the heart of West Africa, one kingdom turned captured enemies into weapons of terror. This is the dark story of the Kingdom of Dahomey. Hundreds of years ago, the kings of Dahomey faced powerful neighbors who wanted their land. They needed a way to strike fear so deep that enemies would think twice before attacking. Their solution was brutal. They captured enemy soldiers alive and buried some of them while still breathing. But it wasn't random cruelty. It was part of a calculated system of power and ritual that helped them build one of the most feared fighting forces in African history. Let me take you back. The Kingdom of Dahomey rose in what is now Benin. From the 1600s to the 1800s, they were warriors. Their army included the famous Dahomey Amazons, women soldiers feared across the region. Every year, during grand ceremonies called the annual customs, the king would perform rituals to honor the ancestors and strengthen the kingdom. Captured enemies from wars played a central role. Some prisoners were beheaded. Others faced a darker fate. Historical accounts describe how selected captives were buried alive in pits or under the foundations of important buildings and temples. The idea was simple but terrifying. Their suffering and death would please the spirits, bring victory in future battles, and send a message to anyone watching. Imagine enemy scouts returning home with stories of men screaming from underground as dirt covered their faces. That kind of fear could stop an army before it even marched. The Dahomey kings believed that human sacrifice, including burying people alive, connected them to powerful ancestors and gods. It wasn't just about killing. It was about power, protection, and psychological warfare. One shocking practice involved the king's own palace and temples. When a new king took power or after major victories, sacrifices helped consecrate the ground. Enemies who had fought against them were sometimes chosen for these rites. This wasn't hidden. European traders and visitors in the 1700s and 1800s wrote about the large numbers of captives killed during these ceremonies, sometimes hundreds at a time. But why bury them alive instead of quicker deaths? It was believed that the slow process released more spiritual energy. The victims' final struggles were seen as offerings that could turn the tide in war. This system helped Dahomey survive and expand for centuries. They raided neighbors, captured thousands, and sold some into the slave trade while using others for these rituals. It made them a regional power that even European powers had to respect, at least for a while. Of course, not every captured enemy was buried alive. Many became slaves or soldiers in the Dahomey army. But the ones chosen for sacrifice created legends that spread fear far and wide. Now think about this. These were hardened warriors who had seen battle, yet the stories of live burial struck terror into their hearts. The practice continued until the late 1800s, when European colonial forces finally conquered Dahomey. The French ended the annual customs and the large-scale sacrifices. Today, the ruins of the royal palaces in Dahomey still stand as a UNESCO site. They carry silent reminders of this dark chapter. The Kingdom of Dahomey shows us how far humans will go for power, survival, and victory in desperate times. Their warriors were brave, their kings ruthless, and their rituals unforgettable. What do you think? Was this brutality necessary for their survival, or was it too far? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you want more dark and weird stories from African kingdoms, ancient empires, and forgotten history, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. We have many more strange tales coming. Thanks for watching Weird History Files. See you in the next one.